What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I'm here to show you what apps I currently have on my iPhone 12 Pro Max for 2021. So over the past few months, with the introduction of widgets on iOS, I've really tried to optimize and improve my setup to just make it easier to access things, whether it is business apps, smart homes, and all the other things that I use during the day. So today we're going to talk about both the iPhone case, the setup, the applications, the reason for each app, and I also want to give a huge thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. I'm also going to be giving away a Dangerfield hoodie from the company that I co-own. You guys absolutely killed it on the black hoodies, and we are sold out on most of the sizes, but we still have some gray left. This is actually a one-of-one sample in the black logo, but the one that we have right now is in a white logo. So if you guys want to win that, just make sure you guys go ahead and follow us on Instagram at justin.tse as well as Dangerfield, and leave a comment down below with your Instagram username, and also subscribe to the channel. So for starters, the phone that I use, of course, is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I've always preferred a larger screen because I watch a lot of video, maybe a little bit too much TikTok, and I also like to have all the best cameras that Apple currently has. So this phone has a triple camera setup. It also has a LiDAR that I don't really use, of course, but with the raw photo capability, the Pro model made the most sense. And when comparing the regular size Pro and the Pro Max, I wanted the best battery life possible. So just to summarize my experience with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the battery life has been great, the size is pretty good, the camera is good, and the case that I've been rocking for many years is the Apple silicone case. And it is just a good hybrid of a nice grippy case that isn't too thick, but also very well cut out. And it just protects the iPhone exactly the way I need it to, because I'm probably not the most careful with it. Beginning with the app itself though, on the home screen, I don't really have anything that is too new from before. I have my utility apps such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I also use the YouTube Studio app quite a bit, just to be able to track the performance of all the videos and just see how it's going. Also answer some of the questions that you guys have in the comment section. And in general, it is like the central hub to managing the videos and checking everything. I'm also on Instagram a ton. YouTube, of course, makes a lot of sense. And just like Google Maps and weather is also an area that I check quite a bit as well, because I try to go outside a couple mornings a week and it seems to rain a lot where I live. But generally speaking, nothing too crazy. But towards the left side of my homepage, I have my calendar where I just input all the things from whether it's the work calendar, the personal calendar, the calendar of the company that I co-own, Dangerfield, of course. There's also a quick look at the weather report. The notes is also an area that I have all of the information of all the videos. We still use that. And I also have a package tracker that lets me know what's coming each day, because it does seem to get a lot in the tech industry. Beyond that, we also have Dropbox. So I do upload a lot of files to my graphic designer. Just press a button and there it is. In terms of the Hue app plugin, I also use a ton of Hue products in the office, whether it is the one behind the TV, there's also some at home. So having the quick access is super nice. And for other smart home, I also have my Miros trigger right here, and in the office we have the neon light upstairs and also the Buster and Punch cabinet, and those are connected to the smart plug, so I can just go to my home screen and I can turn the case behind me on and off, and as you can see, it is all instantaneous. I also have Shopify, because that's where we run the clothing brand through. So just to take a look at online sales, fulfilled orders, and how the retail store is doing, we all have that through the app. And so far today, obviously not many sales because we are currently closed for renovation, and that is going to be done pretty soon. We're going to go ahead and move on to the second page. But as I mentioned, I do use Apple's calendar. It does work pretty well, and I know using another platform could be a bit more optimized, but it's just what I'm used to. And between emails and messages, it is able to import and everything super easily. Beyond that, my deliveries app is still the same. I've had this one for so many years, and it is just so good to use. So I just am able to copy and paste things right in. It shows the number of days, it displays in the calendar, it syncs in the cloud. And beyond that, I also have Amazon and eBay. I buy a ton of things on Amazon, a bit too much. I believe last year it's 152 things. It is just super convenient. Press a button, it's all ordered, and anything that I want, I can just go ahead and look for it right here. In terms of music, I still love Spotify. It is super intuitive. It has all the smart home speakers all connected. So even though I have tried Tidal before and at least just tested the waters, I'm pretty set on Spotify, and I think the podcast experience is pretty good on it as well. But their videos, podcasts, whatever, is just very unintuitive. Beyond that, the Hue apps, of course, are right here. And the way we have the Hue set up is that in the house, I have one in the bedroom, one in the living room, and also one in like the different accent lights around the house. And I also have a setup for the office as well. So it is actually divided into two different places, and between the kitchen lights and also the one behind the TV, they can all be customized. But there's also another app that is one of my favorite additions to this office, and that is Hue Sync. What Hue Sync is actually a box that is connected to the TV. You have all of your inputs, whether it's your game consoles, your TV box, and everything just plugged into that hub. And it will actually see what's on screen and create an ambient light based on the image that just makes the experience so much nicer. And I can control all of the different inputs and everything from my phone. And I've loved it so far, but it was definitely quite expensive to set up initially. Beyond that, we also use Planoly, and that is where I am able to post the stuff for the clothing site. So we just have like a lot of the mood board images as well as the photos we plan to post in a queue all set up here, and depending on what things work the best, we can shuffle it around. So that is being one that is nice to use. As you guys have been asking how I edit my photos, it is actually pretty simple. So I just go into Lightroom and I have a preset, and there you have it. And beyond that, I tried to edit the preset a little bit, which is always very important to do. So yeah, on this photo, for example, the red is a bit too orange, so we're gonna adjust that quite a bit, bring down the saturation a little bit. The blue can be brought down to some degree as well. And I also feel like this photo could use a little bit more punch. So we're gonna bring down the highlights and just give it some more contrast. And as you can see, the product right there just really pops out. So yeah, generally speaking, my editing is really quick. If it's for an Instagram story, we just throw it into Lightroom. But in a more complex image, I definitely try to do a little bit more masking. So in another photo, we can like desaturate certain areas, play with the contrast. There's just so much you can do in photo editing that I find that to be the most fun part of the process in general. I don't love taking photos, but editing is just super awesome. So below that, I also have Notion, and that is what we actually use the most for our work software. Most of the time I do the work on the computer because honestly, the Notion app is just not very good. So yeah, we have this like platform called Formula One, and I did do a dedicated video on this, but here is all my video ideas, all the sponsorships that we're working on, the budgets, and what priority and where the status is. We can talk hours about Notion. It is just so customizable, but beyond that, we also work on different pitch decks and just have a whole team on here to know what everybody has to work on and just make sure everything is running smoothly. So it's kind of like the central hub for the company, but as I mentioned, the app is absolutely terrible and they just really have to fix that, because other than that, Notion is just so fun to use. I actually did start investing in the past year. So for those who don't know, I'm not really that big on stock market investments or trading in general, but if you're in Canada, there's something called the TFSA, and I'm sure in America they have something equivalent. And I've been trying to use up my TFSA. At my age, the threshold is about $44,000 in deposits for TFSA. So I have that maxed out in my bank account, and through the bank, I have like maybe safer investments to some degree, such as the S&P 500, the Vanguards. But I've been trying to use Wealthsimple, which is just like a trading app that seems very intuitive, and I know a lot of other people do. And I've put like just about $6,000 of it in there just to play around with. There's not really much that I'm invested in. I mean, I've got 3 stock trades right here, and as you can probably tell, I'm not very good at it. I was trying to like buy into Nokia back when everybody was going into like GameStop and all that, but then Robinhood shut stuff down and that kind of killed the short squeeze. So as you can tell, nothing really much going on here. And I would say I have made decent decisions in real estate investment, which is what I really like to do. But from a trading standpoint, I'm still so new to it and just like terrible. Air Canada should bounce back though. I mean, once COVID's all done, it's pretty much the main airline in Canada. The other thing is also the real estate app. So a friend who's an agent just has the app set up here, and I'm able to just keep an eye on the market out here. I don't plan on buying any real estate like anytime soon. We've already got enough of that. So I still like to just like keep an eye on stuff though and see where the market's going. I always love like checking spaces out. And the way I found my most recent property was honestly just like very rough browsing. I figured it was a good deal, took a look at it, had a few contracts that were signed in the home industry. So we figured that it made a lot of sense. So I feel like as someone who is interested in real estate, just keeping an eye on it is all really fun to do. The next step next to that is the Bang & Olufsen app, and we have this speaker over there, which is the BioSound 2, and from the application, we can actually customize a lot of the different things. I turned down the bass a little bit because I feel like we shake the entire building with it, but yeah, nothing really much to say about that, but you can play with the sound modes, the settings, and I feel like whenever an application has some customization to it, such as Sonos or Bang & Olufsen, it just makes the experience a lot more fun. Beyond that, we also have the Miros app, which, as I mentioned, is the smart home for me to turn off the lights around the office, and this has just been such a great system. And if you guys are looking for like a budget home tech piece, the Miros set I think is like $20 for 4 smart plugs, and they have worked flawlessly. So for $5 each, it is just such a steal, and I'm very impressed for how much smart home we were able to get for that price. Beyond that, I also have the Alpenglow app, which shows the different sunset and sunrise, all that information of visibility for filming. We do try to film outside a little bit, and we also need to monitor the situation for filming inside as well. So this app is super handy. It gives us exactly when to try to set up or pinpoint our filming times throughout the day to get the best type of lighting possible. For those who don't know, if you're really trying to like target the lighting, there's really only a few hours of perfect lighting a day to film outside. I used to think like filming midday when it was the brightest was the best, but as I started working with more people in film, they kind of made it very clear that they film for limited hours a day, whether it is sunrise or sunset, and other than that, midday is like the worst. The other app that I also kind of browse on occasionally is Chrono24. It is the best place to take a look at how much watches are worth at a given time. I haven't really bought anything on it, but taking a look at how much like this is worth after a few months, or like the Daytona, for example. I'll talk a bit more about watches in the My Everyday Carry. It's just a good way to see where the market is at and decide whether it makes sense to sell something, get something else, and how it changes. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of fun to just, I'm just going to see if this actually works here. And as you can see from the scanning, it does say it is the 116610, the Hulk, which is the correct one. And it shows the current market value of pre-owned and all that kind of stuff, the price ranges. So yeah, this has just been a good way to see what things are worth. And honestly, watches are a pretty good investment, and I've done much better than my stock trading. And I just like wearing them and like having them. So yeah, this is what I use to kind of test the market. I know some people ask about that, and with shoes as well. The other app that we also have here is Mercedes Me. So my car has like this MBUX system, and you're able to like control different things and customize the settings and all that. But even though it does work pretty well, I don't really use it that much. I'm relatively simple in the way that I use my car. Just drive it, play some music, and that's about it. I don't even use the Bluetooth, and I just started using Apple CarPlay very recently. One of the apps that we've been using a lot lately is Canva. Canva is where you can make like pitch decks, Instagram stories, Instagram posts. You can even make postcards, and it's just like a really nice graphic design platform that is very easy to use, despite me being a little bit skeptical about it at first. So what I like about it is that it is web-based, and it's really easy to work with a team. So I can copy and paste things from my computer over to the Canva online. It is almost like a full-on desktop app, but it's web-based. So with a subscription, you can really make the most of it. And I just find it very nice to use. And we've been using it for pitch decks to companies, and also all the Instagram content and all the posters, like the one that we made when our store was closed for a few days. Another one that I've also tried to kind of been checking in on here and there is Clubhouse. And the first day that I joined Clubhouse, Mr. Beast was having a discussion, and that was super valuable. And it is like a platform that is sort of like a podcast that is interactive. And I think that is like a very engaging form of content that allows you to learn on the fly. Just like there's so many things to explore on it. I want to use it a bit more, but just been too busy lately. But I think it's one that people should check out, and who knows, if I figure out how to use it properly, I might do some content on there as well, just for fun, and maybe host a live show here and there. The other app that we also use for a lot of our social is called Unfold. Unfold is just like a good place to make Instagram stories. They're very stylish, and you can also plan your entire Instagram feed on here, which is really nice. But yeah, just going through here, you can see all these nice templates, and they constantly update them. So if you want to keep things fresh or stick to a theme, you can definitely do that. And I just try to at least make my stories look a little bit less lazy, because honestly, my stories sometimes are just so terrible. But yeah, it's an app that has really progressed over the years. I downloaded it back when it was still like very new. It's relatively straightforward, and there's just so many programs out there, so we use a combination of this and Canva. The next app that I also started using again is Skillshare, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but Marquez just had a course on there, so I feel like with him being the best in the industry, it's very important that we try to always learn from the best. And so I'm on Skillshare right now, and whenever we have new team members joining, if they're in like the video editing side or we want them to do basic editing, I feel like Skillshare is a great way for people to just like learn how to use software. So I'll refer them to like the Ali Abdal course on how to use Final Cut, and they can just watch that and learn to use some basic editing software to edit something like the podcast or like the social media videos. For the price that it is at, it is much cheaper than a lot of courses out there, which is why I really like it. I do have some courses that cost hundreds of dollars, for example, and even though those are very valuable, Skillshare just gives you like the best of a lot of different industries if you're just trying to figure out if you even have an interest in it to start with. The next page is kind of my last one of applications that I actually use, and one of them is Uncrate. I'm on that all the time, just looking at like all these cool products that I really want to get as different props, and you can just scroll through your stash and you can probably see that a lot of these products that are in this page are ones that I've already purchased and have in the background or something. But yeah, it's like a really good curated site that I feel like is made specifically for men, because it's like a lot of stuff that guys would like. It's really easy to just go down the rabbit hole on the site, so kind of fair warning of that. I'm pretty sure I've spent like thousands on the site, but they just got so many cool stuff. And whenever you want to like refresh the set in the office, I just go to here and I'm usually able to find a new set of stuff that I really want to get. Other than that, I still use Splashtop, so if I ever want to access my home computer, which is like an office that is like a block away, then I'm able to just like download a file or something like that through Splashtop. It still works really well, and I've had this app for so many years. And back when I was in university, if I like forgot to send a project in, I could at least just go on Splashtop and control my computer from home and do that. Moving down from that, I also have the Schlage app, and that is because our lock system is all digital. I can just go and set the codes, see who's accessed it, and it is all easy to monitor and navigate. Of course, QuickBooks is also one that we use as a small business as well, but I've also started using Google Home a bit more just because my entire home system is pretty much on this platform. The TV is Android TV, the speaker is also on the Google Play. There's also the thermostat and all that. So yeah, we're able to control everything from this application. And so that's where I set the schedules and all those different things. But I almost say, other than that, these are the applications that I use on an everyday basis. And as you can tell, I don't really have anything that fun on it. It is just kept relatively simple. The wallpaper stayed the same for a long time. And I think that's a little bit surprising for a lot of people as a tech YouTuber, that I would have a lot of apps and maybe more widgets, more customization, icon packs, but I actually have none of that. I literally just have like the basic applications that I need for the most part. And even with Smart Home, beyond the essentials, we don't really have anything else. Before I wrap up the video though, I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, Raid Shadow Legends, and their game that has just reached its 2-year anniversary and is one of the most popular ones to date. I think my favorite part is that you can just really hop in and get into the campaign of the game right away and just kind of jump into the action that it has to offer. The game is simple to start and easy to follow, and as you advance through the game, it can be more complex and strategic. The fastest way to level up your champions is through farming the campaign, and you grind XP and get loads of silver at the same time. They've got 6 straight weeks of anniversary events and tournaments from March 1st all the way to the middle of April, all of them with insane prizes to win, and they're even launching their first ever clan versus clan tournament to give players a chance to compete directly against another clan to see who comes out on top. And if that's not enough, they just released 12 champions in the badass looking Shadowkin faction. If you guys want to go ahead and get a head start in Raid, just go ahead and scan the QR code that is on screen, and also click the link in the description section below, because it will give you a free epic champion, Jotun, who is amazing for the Doom Tower. It also gives you 100k silver, 50 gems, and also 3 ancient shards as soon as you start the game, so you can get started right away and all of the treasure will be waiting for you here. And start to summon the awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. As always though, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.